I always enjoy seeing how other people have their equipment and tools laid out for their pest control company. So I thought I'd share mine and maybe you can get some ideas that you can use for your setup. We'll start up here in the front. I have 18 bait stations up there. Those are all stacked too high and there's cardboard in between so they don't scratch each other up. Then we have a bee suit, a respirator, and some tools, glue boards. I've got my boot covers right there. I always wear boot covers unless I get to the door and determine that my boot covers are going to be dirtier when I leave their home. Then I just go in with shoes. There's also rodenticide right there that can easily be just lifted out of there. I've got this little rack for my B&G sprayers, and each sprayer has its wand right there so that none of the hoses get tangled. You can easily just grab one sprayer out and be good to go. Got a small web pole here, and I have my Flowzone sprayer, which I think is as good as it gets as far as battery-powered backpack sprayers. I did make one customization to this. I have the flexible or the pivoting head on that, and that thing saves me so much time. Basically, you can spray up under decks or all the way back to the foundation wall under a deck without bending over. And this is all mounted on the Gunjet 30, which I think is an awesome gun. And over here we have our pump that runs back to a 40-gallon water tank, and basically I have this hose right here. It's got this little diffuser thing on here that keeps the water from flying out of the end of the hose and sloshing all over everything when you're trying to fill a backpack. I highly recommend that. And the little pipe that I put that in actually runs down below the plywood floor in the truck so that any water that drips out just runs out on top of the bed liner in the little grooves. To turn on the pump, we have this little switch right here, and that also has a voltage meter for the battery that again is right back there. And it's a deep cycle battery. It has to be charged about once a month, but at least I always know when it's getting low. And I got a flashlight right there. Also have this drawer here. This has extra batteries and ant gel and some other tools. And this drawer comes out a long ways. It's kind of ridiculous almost, but the stuff in the back is just like spare parts and an extra pair of boot covers, and I even have an extra pump all the way in the back of there, so if my main pump went bad during the day, I could swap that out. Now that would be a really crappy day, but at least I'm not driving home trying to order a new pump. So there's that. Works pretty good. Then we have all of our chemicals right here, easy to reach. And up here I have this ladder stabilizer thing. And I don't really like ladders, but it's kind of nice, makes me feel safer, especially if you have to set up the ladder on a slope. It works really good. Then up in the front I've got like a spill kit and some extra bottles of chemicals, kind of overflow supplies up there where you can't really get to it very easily, but you know, hardly ever have to. And that's pretty much it for the back of the truck, except I do have a ladder stored back in there, which looks like it'd be a real bitch to get that out, but it's not too bad. I have to use it 2 or 3 times a week, and to do that, all you have to do is pull this little B&G rack out, the rodenticide bucket, and the ladder just slides right out. So, yeah, it takes about 20 seconds to get it out, but again, I hardly ever use it, so, or a couple times a week, no big deal. And then I do have a long web pull as well, right there. I can just unscrew that cap and a long web pull slides out from under my running board. A little bit cheesy, but I need that thing all the time, and at least I don't have to have some, you know, ladder rack on my truck. So that's about it for all of our general stuff. We do have 3 other types of jobs that we do where I would need extra equipment that's not in the back of the truck. All of those things are jobs where we wouldn't just add it on during the day. It would be a scheduled thing. So I would know before I left in the morning that I need to add that equipment. And that is mosquito jobs, mice jobs, or cockroach jobs. And for those types of jobs, I have some kits ready to go here. There's the mosquito sprayer, which I actually don't like doing those jobs, mostly because I think this is basically a poor design. Anyway, this video isn't about that. Then I've got my mouse kit, which I recently started using these little stool toolboxes, and I love them. All of my mice stuff pretty much is in here, and you got your traps and bait and glue boards and whatnot. It's all pretty great. Then I got an endoscope that I use sometimes for mice jobs and my vacuum. Then I have a similar kit for cockroaches that I use, and so basically if I got to do one of those jobs, I just grab the stuff for this before I leave, and this would actually just go in the back seat of the truck. As far as the mosquito sprayer, I've got a little rack in the back seat of the truck, so it keeps that thing from tipping over or leaking or anything. And again, not ideal, but we don't really do that much mosquito work at this point, so 95% of the time I don't need any of this stuff. In the winter, obviously the mouse equipment basically just stays in the truck all the time. But anyway, that's about it. Hopefully you got some ideas from how we set things up, and yeah.